Hey, it's Jordan with Artisan Panels, and I'm sitting here with Mark Tierheimer, our sales manager. Mark, what are we looking at right here?
Jordan, what we see here is a very common specification sheet that you commonly see with public bid jobs.
So it says here on the specification sheet to allow a delivery time of 16 weeks. Mark, what is Artisan Panels delivery time?
Artisan Panels right now is hovering between 6 to 8 weeks, and that would be after the approval of the shop drawing that we produce for you to review.
That's amazing. And then it goes into substitution limitations. Can you explain what this means?
Sure, the substitutions are pretty commonly noted on most public bid jobs. This allows for multiple manufacturers to be part of the project or to be awarded the project. And limitations, these are basically what the architect or the designer is telling you that the new manufacturer must meet to be the one who is able to produce these panels. In this instance right here, you see a notation that you have to have 5 years of experience in manufacturing the panels. Artisan Panels, that's no problem. We've been doing this for well over 20 years.
Mark, what are some other limitations you might come across when being considered to be a spec for a project?
Usually within the specification sheet, they'll have a pretty good list of the items that they want you to be able to fulfill with your requirements. Within this one here, we see that they have some notations in regards to the material. Also the type of material here, you can see where they're calling out a certain type of 5000 series in aluminum. So that tells me what material it is that I have to produce the panels in. Also another one that I see noted in this specification is the AAMA requirement. This pertains to the finish and more importantly on how fast that fade would happen within the finish.
So Mark, when it comes to accessories, what are some common factors that you come across dealing with architects and builders?
I'd say by far the most common is going to be your attachment method.
Okay.
That is generally listed under the accessories heading. In this case here, you also see a notation in regards to the fasteners. The fasteners in this case I refer to as nuts, bolts, washers, and stuff like that. We also see in this one that they are calling out issues for galvanic barriers. That is in cases where you have two dissimilar materials touching each other. You want to put something in between those so you can alleviate that issue of galvanic corrosion.
So Mark, I commonly see in these spec sheets the notation for references and for the ability to send out samples upon request. Can you explain Artisan's kind of experience with not only being able to provide references, but our panel sample options as well?
Sure. The notation that you're noting also is referring to an alternate or a substitute for the project. Most cases that's simply just because the manufacturer or the architect or designer may not know the alternate or the sub as well as who they specified in here. In terms of references, Artisan Panels has been making panels for well over 20 years, so there's no problem providing that to you. When it comes to samples, you have a couple options available to you. We can either take a pattern and scale it all the way down for you so you can see the full pattern, or we could take a panel size for the project and take like a 2-foot snippet of that size so you can see the full scale of what it would actually look like when it's in the field.
Mark, I commonly see in these spec sheets either architects or builders requesting that you have certain code requirements or even wind load tests. How does Artisan Panels tackle that?
For the code requirements, those are generally dictated by your local municipalities. That may involve something whether it be a stair railing, where you have to meet the 4-inch spear test. 4-inch spear test is essentially that you can't have a 4-inch diameter spear pass through any opening of that. That also comes into play with balcony railings that we commonly do as well. In regards to wind load requirements, that's going to vary state by state. State of Nebraska is going to have a very different wind load requirement versus the state of Florida.
Well, Artisan Panels is obviously located in California. Are we able to do the engineering to ship out to all the 50 states?
That's a great question, Jordan, and the answer is yes. We have the ability to do the engineering for all 50 states, and we can also have those stamped and sealed for all 50 states.
A lot of architects have certain requirements or even preferences when it comes to design and patterns. Can you talk about Artisan Panels' ability to change or modify a pre-existing pattern?
Absolutely. That is something that is very commonly requested to us. As we all know, we all have our own individual taste, and that also applies to architects, designers, and end users. Great thing with Artisan Panels is within the artwork, we have the ability to manipulate any part of that. So if any of you at home are reviewing the website and you see the orientation of a pattern on the website, and you're like, I really wish that was going horizontal versus vertical, we can easily rotate that for you. We could also modify the design if you wanted to add more repetition, if it was a repetition pattern, or for instance, if you wanted to add your own design elements to it. We've done landscape images and people have requested us to put butterflies in there, birds, whatever it may be. Since we have an in-house drafting team, we can essentially handle any request.
Well, Mark, I want to thank you for coming down and being in this video, and not only that, but walking us through the spec sheet, because it is such an important process, and we hope to have you on for some more videos in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jordan. Yeah, the specification sheet, if you can't meet the specs, you can't get the job.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you again. And we invite you to visit our showroom located here in Anaheim, California. We're open to the public Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And our inside sales engineers, like Mark here, are available to answer any questions you might have. We hope to see you soon.